The AAA industry is in trouble. The thing that anyone with working eyes could have seen happen, happened. And that's the fact that Wildlight Entertainment have just laid off most of their workforce. In fact, every company's been getting hit with layoffs these days. It has grown by a whopping, massive 1% in 2025. And to be honest, I'm shocked it was even that high. Ubisoft just did the business equivalent of base jumping into an active volcano. Bill Gates took a moment from Russian hookers and banning his good friends on Xbox Live to grant Bethesda 3 new games, which should hopefully be released anywhere between later this year and the end of time. AI is making more games than Microsoft, and Sony are creating an AI program that will allow even game journalists to complete their games. Obsidian have 2 flops in the last year, Metroid Prime 4 underperformed, Borderlands 4 didn't even make money, and a lot of these games aren't making money at all due to how much they cost to make. Hardware sales are at the lowest they've been, and the industry is full of remakes and reboots. Every major console publisher has had a showcase to show off their offerings for 2026, and frankly, watching these companies crash and burn will be more entertaining than most of the games they'll bring out, so let's talk about it. Let's start with Ubisoft. They just cancelled 7 games, delayed 6 others, closed 1 studio, and union busted another one. The actors of these games were informed of these cancellations by the For You page on Twitter. They have 2 straight years of releasing complete shit, I mean quadruple A experiences, ran their stock and reputation into the ground, and they claim this is all to make their company a more gamer-centric organization, right after they tank an over €1 billion loss. So what is Ubisoft's big plan to rectify this and put themselves back on track? Well, they're just going to keep doing the exact same thing they've been doing for years. That's right, they're going to put out this fire by dropping fucking napalm on top of it. When they said get used to not owning games, I think they actually meant that the fact that no one will buy a Ubisoft game again. Yasuke truly was the greatest assassin of all time, as he managed to assassinate a whole company. Speaking of another company that's cancelling games and shutting down studios, Microsoft has cancelled so many games recently. What have they actually got to release? Rare's only been working on Sea of Thieves right now, Double Fine's making Ghost Simulator, Arcane have a Blade game in development, which, just like the movie, maybe it'll get cancelled. Black Ops 7 was such a disaster that it killed the yearly release. Like, even Borderlands 4 and Monster Hunter outsold it, and those games didn't even work. Everyone completely forgot about State of Decay 3, but apparently that's still going. Meanwhile, Gears of War E-Day is MIA, and all the other companies don't even have any projects announced. And Minecraft? Never mind, I'll come back later. With all the terrible decisions they made recently, you'd think they are trying to tank their own brand, moving all their franchises to PlayStation, cancelling games, raising prices, closing studios, raising prices again. They lost $300 million by having Call of Duty on Game Pass. Then they increased the price of Game Pass. Are they trying to tank their console market completely? Costco won't even stock their consoles anymore, and they got outsold last year by a fucking Kinect ripoff. Bethesda will probably never release a single game again, let alone make a good one. But remember people, Starfield is still the best thing ever and they're very proud of it, which is why they're allegedly making a complete 2.0 update to make it not a complete piece of shit. Usually their updates just break everything. They've broken Fallout 4 several times, and the Windows side of the company can't even help them as they're busy breaking Windows 11. So much so, people are going back to Windows fucking ME. But what are Microsoft doing to restore confidence in their player base? The Xbox brand is circling the drain, their games are being developed by fucking Skynet, and what did they decide to do? Well, introduce cloud gaming with ads, of course, and host a direct announcing 4, that's right, 4 games. I couldn't actually watch the fucking thing on their own channel thanks to Bill, so I had to tune into a watch along. Finally got a release month, fuck it, that's close enough, for Fable, probably the least anticipated out of the games that haven't already been cancelled. But I have to admit, the fact that the game allows you to evict the single mother of 5 for not tipping her landlord, or land kings as I call them, has bumped the game up a bit in my estimations, and also by the fact they're not locking us into play as this monstrosity. Forza puts you in the shoes of a tourist in Japan, and allows you to piss off the country in the game as well as in real life. I wonder if there's a forest track. Playground seems to be the only company in Microsoft that actually seem to have their act somewhat together, which is why I'm here to announce that everything they're working on is cancelled and we're shutting them down. Because fuck you, that's why. Nintendo had a direct recently and... oh, thanks Nintendo. Anyway, the whole thing sucked, and then Todd showed up as a bunch of their games are coming to Switch 2. And in a surprising turn of events, one of them wasn't Skyrim. He gave people even less of a reason to own an Xbox. Not like there's much of a reason to own a Switch 2 at this point. There's less games on it than the Wii U. Your 5-year-old port, sir. Everyone still has the Switch, which has become Nintendo's best-selling console of all time. Meanwhile, the Switch 2 has become the world's first 400-pound paperweight. Despite the bad games they've come out with at ridiculous prices, Nintendo fans will buy them anyway. They have $20 million to burn on a Super Bowl ad, and as long as Nintendo fans have their wives, boyfriends buying their Switches for them, they won't be going anywhere. Sony had a state of play and showed off games that had already been showed off a few months before, told us they are going to make a new Dead or Alive game, and announced a bunch of remasters. Marathon will be doing a public showcase if anyone still cares. That's it. In more interesting news, last week Sony decided to continue with the live service games despite the failure of Concord by announcing a Horizon live service co-op game starring the characters from Concord. This character's making Aloy look like a swimsuit model. She's like 500 pounds, and that's taking into account losing her leg from diabetes. As soon as this character came onto screen, my phone gained 50 pounds. Horizon Feeder's Gathering looks like a disaster, and someone needs to perform an intervention on Herman Holst before the next Killzone game stars Fat Bastard. They were making a live service game for each of their movie games, because it's the only way these games will actually get any gameplay. Until most of them were cancelled, that is. We had a God of War live service game, a Last of Us live service game, and a new Spider-Man one where you mine crystals using MJ's chin. The only good live service game they have right now is Helldivers 2. They actively attempted to block most of the world from playing, and did their best to prevent the rest of the human population from being able to play. Let's talk about AI. Bill Gates is in on it, Satya's in on it, Nvidia's in on it. In fact, Bill's on it so much he forgot all about that dumb environmental stuff and decided to fuck the rainforest, fuck the panda bears, and fuck having drinkable water because Bill needs to remove some old friends from his photo albums. Sony have patented another AI program for their characters to read the news to you. Now you can have Kratos read to you like Sony fans' fathers never did. Windows 11 has full-on AI integration so good the first thing people do is uninstall it. Bill claims that they're only using AI for security. Saying that, we got AI Ghibli calling cards in Black Ops 7, reports state Halo will be made with AI in the future, they make RAM, SSDs, and GPUs more expensive and make building a PC as unobtainable as owning a fucking house. Not even Gaben is able to get enough of them to make the Steam box. Though to be fair, he made 2 and then couldn't get round to making the fucking 3rd one. Somehow these companies are so out of touch they're surprised that people are smoking some packs when news comes out that these companies are nearly bankrupt. And these companies get very upset when you make fun of them for spending billions on these systems and are rapidly running out of money, seemingly no return, so please, never do that. AAA games have flopped one after another, and the real successes of the past couple of years have been indie or AA titles instead. By Obscure, Mega Bonk, Ball Pit, Silk Song have all done really well. For these people attempting to smear the reputation of anything outside this clique of AAA studios and downplay the achievements of anything that succeeds. They try to kill Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, they were even downplaying Expedition 33 before it won every single award going. Now they're going after Knight's Path and trying to tone police everyone who's talking shit about Highguard, saying, "Oh, it's a hate mob." Look at Hytale. Riot fumbled that game so bad to create the AAA Minecraft and try to add so much bullshit they just decided to cancel the game. The original devs managed to get it back and released it in early access in just 8 weeks. This game could have been released years ago. The industry is full of crazy people. Just look at what this ex-Highguard dev was saying, what people on the dev team thought about the game. These people gassed themselves up and were hit with a big dose of reality. Highguard is a great example of what happens when you're disconnected from the people who are vital to your game's success. Or you go and make Horizon Forbidden Wasteland. Anyway, that's enough from me today. I've got myself a hot date tonight. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.